Have you ever been in a conversation that you desperately wanted to end? You know, one where the person talking is so negative and pessimistic and ungrateful that no matter where their story goes, it just seems to have this gloomy ending to it, right? It just seems that there are people who see everything from a dull and cloudy perspective. And even if something positive happens, they still see it as negative. Man, listening to someone like that is very challenging and difficult, especially if there's just no reprieve. Well, I began this series on communication, discussing how it is the speaker who has the responsibility to communicate with appropriate measures of emotion and content. And now I'm going to end this series with a suggestion again to the speaker to express words that are just weighted with gratitude. The deepest craving of human nature is to be appreciated. I mean, we all need more expressions of gratitude in order to build more satisfying relationships. To the people around you, I would encourage you to try to express more appreciation, more delight, more affirmation, more encouragement, and thankfulness. Because life continually requires us to attend to problems and breakdowns. And it gets very easy to see only what is broken and what needs fixing. But satisfying relationships and a happy life require us to notice and to respond to what is delightful, what is excellent, and what is enjoyable. Even the smaller things such as work well done and food well cooked are reasons to be thankful. It is appreciation that makes a relationship strong enough to accommodate differences and disagreements. Thinkers and researchers in several different fields have researched similar conclusions about this healthy relationship need of mutual appreciation and gratitude. Therefore, our language needs to be laced with words of thankfulness, positivity, and gratitude so that the time spent with us encourages people. Think about this. When people leave your presence, do they feel better about themselves or worse? Studies have shown that it takes 5 positive words to make up for just 1 negative word. That negative words are so weighty. So our words to people can be disproportionately negative. Negativity in our conversation has such a heavy effect that choosing words that are positive and encouraging and uplifting can be challenging, especially when life gets difficult to manage. Happiness comes not from getting something that we lack, but from the recognition and appreciation of what we have. So the question is, are we grateful people because we're happy? Or are we happy because we're grateful? In his book, Gratefulness, the Heart of Prayer, Brother David Steindl-Rast suggests that life makes more sense if we see all virtues as radiating out from gratefulness. He states this: to be grateful for the goodness of the simplest things, bread baked by a neighbor, the turning of the seasons, the sound of water running in a brook, the sound of children playing, is to affirm that there is a source of goodness in life, in spite of all the many sorrows that life also includes. For Brother David, our gratefulness is our deepest prayer, prayed not with words, but with our hearts. So happiness does come from a spirit of gratitude. Let our speech be seasoned with salt to give the words that we use a pleasant taste, to to people? What would our relationships be like if we focused on our partings, when we leave? What if we had a goal that every time someone left my presence, they actually felt better about themselves after having spent time with me? You see, our conversations could be a real source of power, enlightenment, and joy to people. It's not that we can't talk about hard things and difficult issues in our lives, but how long do we want to talk about those kinds of items? There are more reasons to celebrate life than to mourn. And even in mourning, we can decide to find purpose and to find meaning and opportunity and joy. Johann Wolfgang von Goethe said that to treat people as if they were what they ought to be, and you help them to become what they are capable of being. And one of the best ways to help people become what they're capable of is to recognize the positives in them. Speaking more often from the side of life that is fun and positive, affirming, and joy-filled can create a conversation worth staying around for. Well, I want to thank you for completing this course on communication. I trust you have learned a few things, but more importantly, that you have practiced many. Because practicing, though it does not make perfect, it does make it permanent. And over time, with practice, you will make good speaking and listening skills a much more permanent part of all of your relationships. I want to pay special tribute to and express my thanks to my 30-plus year mentor and friend, Dr. Gary Sweeten, who taught a lot of these skills to me over the years. I would love for you to pick up his book called Listening for Heaven's Sake. Also, I want to give credit to Drs. Cloud and Townsend and their book, Boundaries. Remember, knowledge is the gathering of information. Wisdom is the practice of that knowledge. So to complete this course, take time now to practice these concluding exercises. Thank you for taking the time out of your schedule to consider how you might speak and listen with greater effect.